But with that, we'll see you next time. Greg gave a few ways to help support the podcast at the beginning of the episode. Sorry. This week, we're going a little bit backwards in how we're going to do things, but not quite that backwards. We're going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again, Episode 4 first, and then the news and rumors, because there might be breaking news as we go along here. But we'll do the normal introductions. I am your co-host. No, I am your host with all the jokes, Petter, and my
like
co-host.
Mr. Opposite, I guess. I don't know. It's like opposite day for you. Like great intro, by the way. Well done. Got me off guard. And yeah, the fact that I'm officially host now. That's some big shoes to
Backwards day.
fill. Big shoes to fill. So what's my paycheck look like now?
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay.
Yeah, right before I made the change, I switched how the money was divvied up, and now the co-host makes it all.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, well, back to doing this for no good damn reason at all. It's Greg, everybody. Thanks for coming back. Thank you for if you subscribed. I have no idea. If you're following us, we appreciate it. If you're liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. Thank you so much. If you're looking for ways to support us, though, you can find us on our YouTube channel, which maybe some of you have since you've already subscribed and all that. But search 10 Minute Marvel over there on YouTube. Give us a like and thumb, smash the subscribe button. Find and follow us on Facebook and that other thing with an X. That's hashtag 10MinMarvel. No yawning, Petter. Hashtag 10MinMarvel. And of course, you can leave a rating and review wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcast from. Well, Mr. Surly, I think we're gonna do we're doing rumors first, right?
Yes, so kicking it off here with, like I said, Daredevil Born Again.
Damn it.
Episode 4. Greg, do you want to kick us off with your non-spoiler thoughts for this?
Yeah, let's see if I can sum this up. Okay. Good action. I'm really struggling already. Great action. Still loving that. Still like I want to note just kind of as a whole, I really like the way it looks. I like the color choices. I like how they're using color still. Like they've been doing a lot of that. Marvel's pretty known for using color coordination, if you will. But I love it even more in Daredevil. Red for Matt, blue for Bullseye, white kind of is Fisk's thing, of course, white/red, if you will. So I love that, and I think I would say it is the best episode thus far for season 2, and I'm really hoping it is the catapult episode that really, really gets me on board. But it was all right. It was good. It was the best one, like I said, so far. So I have some things to say about it, and we'll get into those. But what about you? What do you think?
I'm with you. Best one so far. I don't think it's close. This is the first one where we started to get some more character motivation, not like raising any sort of stakes from what they were previously. It is kind of a shame that it took to episode 4 to get to the point where it felt like it was something that happened since the end of season 1. But with that all said, I am excited to see where this goes for the rest of the season, because there's some decent stuff going on here, and we'll talk about that a whole lot more in spoilers. I do think there still needs to be more work to give a few more characters more and better direction or motivation.
Okay. I don't disagree with that, but I also want to add to it, but I'm not going to do it yet.
So we'll see where that goes from here. But let's move into spoilers, Greg. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. You have been warned. Spoilers.
Whoop, 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 whoop. That's my spoiler alarm.
All right,
it's been absent for a while. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let's talk spoilers here. Where do you want to kick off?
Let's talk about the white beautiful elephant in the room. Let's just go with the big one. Can we just go with the big one at first?
I wasn't sure when you started saying white, was it gonna be Fisk or White Tiger?
No, neither. It's actually Vanessa because she wears the white dress.
Yes.
And so what what are your thoughts? Is she dead? Is she not dead? Is she half dead? Will she come back with the hand and their secret powers? It's,
Um,
I don't really
I'm
actually believe the second one or that last one, but I'm just wondering about first, do you think she's dead or not?
oh man, I I don't think she's dead yet.
Okay.
Does she survive the season? I'm not 100% sure. I think she could succumb to her injuries at some point in time. And honestly, I say this not because of anything the actor is phenomenal
Hmm.
for Vanessa, but I think for Fisk's character, having her die would would really set him over the edge.
Yes. Do you think they would take the one of the best dynamics out of the show at this point? I mean, it's kind of a ballsy move. However, it does make a statement and it
Mhm.
does drive the character for Fisk.
Right. Well, I look at it too as it is a great dynamic between the two of them, but what are we going to continue to explore with them?
Yeah, right. I I,
And I
I agree.
think that we've explored a lot to the point where I think we're done exploring that. And unfortunately, just with kind of the importance of the two comic book characters and two characters for the story, Vanessa is the one that you kind of remove from the equation.
Right. And I mean, I don't know if they're trying to do what the Sonyverse did with Fisk, but it does sync up with that. I guess that Vanessa, she's dead in the Spider-Man
Oh yeah, that's right.
Sony Into the Spider-Verse. There we go.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I agree. I think it's the right way forward. I really liked her. I just watched her and some of the Brandon Davis interview that he did with her, and I just cannot pull her name out of my head. Kind of my MO,
Mhm.
but like I would like to pay tribute to her. And so would you look up her name and we'll at least announce it at some point. Um, she's from Israel, and I think that's like I can't pronounce the last name well enough. Um,
I let Zur.
yeah, Elez Zur. That's what it is. It's a weird like that last name. It sounds like you're slurring, but it's like Zur. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, she's great. So
Now, the question is, could she be presumed dead? And it's all about your theory that with Buck and him somehow,
uh, I think my theory on Buck is off the table at this point. I think what I
he's,
thought.
yeah,
But I do feel like I think she's gonna be. Oh man, I part of me is thinking that she's gonna be heavily incapacitated in the
yeah,
hospital for a while, and that's gonna obviously Fisk is gonna freak out for that.
yes.
And I just for them to take her like it's I feel like they'd either kill her off like she's just dead now, or that she is goes maybe she's in a coma, whatever, she's got these sustained injuries, that she would come back from those. Otherwise, why hang on to it?
Hmm.
But maybe for dramatic effect, I don't know. It just seems like they'd choose one or the other in that.
Yeah.
But I think that'll
Well,
all
like, could she come back with amnesia,
right.
not remember, and like dis dislike Fisk?
Yeah, or just because she's kind of a part of the crime family at this point, right?
Hmm.
So she loses that edge. She's not the same.
Hmm.
And or maybe he forever has to, or not forever, but like he has to Fisk has to like deal with her as I don't know, she's got serious head trauma
Hmm.
and that maybe lasts for a long time. And so,
Yeah, she's a
yeah,
liability. She can't take care of herself
yeah,
fully. And so now it's this added burden of how does he take care of her while having this war on vigilantes and running a crime family?
yeah,
And is that going to be seen as weakness or like drawing his attention away or corrupting his vision for the public, for like the anti-vigilante task force? Could be something where it's people are like, well, you can't be in power anymore. Like you have to do the right thing and take care of your wife,
yeah.
sort of thing.
What if she's in the hospital, right? The person that is maybe watching over her, very much against what maybe Fisk is doing, but Vanessa herself is not really recollecting her past self
Hmm.
or her past life. So she takes this more empathetic view towards New York in the more just way of thinking, and she turns on Fisk. Maybe
Hmm.
that's like it. So
Oh, that.
that's like the only other option that they have, I think, is that she turns on him in some way, and that would be a season 4 kind of thing. But
Hmm. Or
um,
season three.
yeah, sorry. Season 3.
Yeah, and I do think they want to probably pull back from it being so heavily Fisk and Daredevil and to introduce some sort of other villainous group
Hmm.
that Daredevil has to deal with because
Yeah.
otherwise it's going to start to really feel repetitive.
So first I want to say I meant to start this whole topic off with saying Vanessa gets a New York state of mind.
Yeah.
And I totally missed my window on that, and I'm really upset about it.
Don't
Um,
worry, the whole episode's backwards.
oh,
Remember?
that's right.
So, yeah, this is kicking off the conversation right now.
Perfect. God, love
Yeah.
this. Um, and then I forgot what you were talking about, kind of needing another character,
Another
uh,
villain.
another
Yeah.
villain, and I forgot what I was going to say to that. I do agree. Like, yeah, it's kind of maybe time to move on a little bit, and maybe Kingpin retreats at this
Yeah.
time to kind of regroup for at least a season, and then maybe comes back. But
Hmm.
um,
Like, could the reintroduction of the hand in Spider-Man Brand New Day be introducing what's going to be the villain for season three?
yeah, I
That
mean,
it makes sense.
I do agree that it's time for a change at this point, for sure. And
Hmm.
I wouldn't even mind seeing. So,
Yeah. So let's talk about, like, we talked about whether or not Vanessa's alive. Let's talk a little bit about how Fisk is going to handle it because I really liked the scene of what happened because no matter if Vanessa's alive or dead, Fisk is going to blame himself in some ways for what happened to Vanessa because he used his belt to break the object and it got past him,
hmm
or a shard got past and hit Vanessa. But I think he's also the sort of character where he has such ego that, well, there's going to be this understanding that he has that it is his fault. He's going to blame it completely on others.
Right, because he couldn't protect her. That's going to be his thing. He couldn't protect her. He tried to get her out of there. He
It's
didn't
everybody
succeed at
else's
that.
fault.
But it's everybody else's fault, right? You had just to go back a step. You had said that it's time maybe not to focus so much on Matt and Kingpin.
Hmm.
And I want to bring up the point. Maybe we can circle back on this if you want, so we can continue it down yours. But I wanted to bring it up because I was watching the break room and they had talked about how they're just the focus is on Matt and Daredevil is so. It, I'm gonna for me it's much more minimal than what we've seen in the prior season, and obviously compared to what we saw in the Netflix side of it. And I think that's what's bugging me is I'm not getting the character depth for Matt anymore.
Yes. Oh, I'm 100% with you there.
But I couldn't
The,
pinpoint it until they had said that. I'm like, yeah, I think that's what's rubbing. There's too many characters, and I can't care for them all. Also because they hadn't really flushed everything out yet, and I'm still
Mhm.
right. But I really just the main focus of Daredevil has not been there, and that's I guess annoying for
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah, I'm going to say that yes, agree. I agree with that. And I think some of it is the focus for Matt, but also, I mean, he's been there a fair amount, or obviously he's kind of one of the big characters, big people of note for this series. Obviously, it's
yeah,
about him, but it really they haven't given him anything to work with this season. They haven't given him anything to grow with or
yeah,
to struggle with. They did in the
Netflix.
well, I wasn't gonna say Netflix. I was gonna say in season one they did because he's struggling whether or not he can return to being Daredevil. And
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
that's a great struggle for the character that is surrounded by a whole bunch of other things that lead him down that path. Right now, he's just Daredevil again. He's not at all Matt Murdock.
Right.
Like he's made the full switch over to being Daredevil, so it's like yeah, I'm just not feeling the motivation for him. And he was a character that I was really thinking of was like they need to give him anything to work with at this
Yeah.
point in time.
And it's not that you don't visually see him because he's in there quite a bit and he's got great fight
Hmm.
scenes, but it's just, yeah, there's not much that's developing with him. And it's funny because we were complaining about last season about not, I mean, they're potentially in the first season, we're going to have no Daredevil for the first, whatever, 4 episodes or something like that, right? And that was crazy talk. And now he's fully Daredevil, and I'm complaining that he doesn't have enough, development, which is, I don't know. So, yeah,
Well,
obviously they
they
can't
have
win,
to
but.
give
There's a balance. There's a
mhm.
balance, I know.
They have to give him now a struggle as Daredevil.
Yeah.
And it's they just aren't doing that.
Maybe that's what's kind of blossoming now with the Poindexter, right? With Bullseye, and
Hmm.
he wants that scales to be what did he say? He's trying to write the scales or something like that.
Right.
He
He-
feels bad about what happened, and so he's trying to write and kind of put it back to level playing field in a way.
Kind of. That's what he says. I feel like it's actually he felt used, which is fair.
Yeah. By
Like
Vanessa, like by
that's
Fisk.
what
Yeah.
yeah, Vanessa and Fisk. And the writing of the scales is just him getting revenge. He wants to kill the people who used him. It doesn't he's gonna say it's the writing of the scales, but really it's just no, I don't like that I was used, so I'm gonna make sure everybody else is kind of suffering for that fact.
Yeah. I I also like what I like about the Bullseye character is he seems and has been kind of that obsessive compulsive,
Yes.
and I think he's fixates on things, and I think he fixated in on this season he's fixating on Matt. And he's fixating on I
How
mean
can
he's
I
fixating.
help Matt?
Right, like how he wants to almost be like Matt, right? In a sense, because he's trying to be the good guy and trying to help Matt out. And I don't know, like he's watching over him because he saved Matt from those the anti-vigilante task force guys, right? After they
Yep.
masked him in the first one. So I I I don't know, the Bulldog character I think has been really great so far. And the beginning of this episode was awesome. Like, what a great start to an episode with the cafe scene of the diner scene.
Hmm.
So I found a lot of fun in that, and just seeing him kind of in that happy place, and he's just kind of.
Yeah. Well, like his happy place, this is why, like his happy place is righting his wrong is just his excuse to kill.
Hmm.
Because the anti-vigilante task force, he's just trying to kill them and side with Daredevil to make himself feel better about killing.
Right. Yeah.
It's a great
It's a good complex character, is what
Mhm.
what that
It's a
is.
good complex character because it's a character who believes that they are so justified in what they're doing while just doing anything and everything evil.
Yeah. Um,
It's- yeah. But back to, I think we
yeah,
kind of covered Fisk.
and
Like
I stole where you asked me a question before, and I totally derailed it.
Mhm. But I mean, I think we're kind of on the same page though that Fisk has so much ego that he's going to blame everybody else
Hmm.
for it, and it's going to, even though he'll be feel guilt over it, he's going to turn that into blame for on everybody else. And I mean, what is it going to do for this series? Is it just going to escalate his task force being out? They kind of seem like they're out and about and extremely extreme already.
Yeah. So where does it? He's gonna try and save face somehow, I guess. But yeah, like,
Hmm.
how does he do that? What is he?
Well, I mean, does he out Matt as Daredevil?
I mean, it is and has happened in the comics. So
Hmm.
right,
Well, I'm just
I
trying to
could see
think what
that.
I'm trying to think what else big that he can do.
Right. What other card does he have to play?
Yeah, because he's already played the card of, oh, Matt is a lost little lamb. We need help to find him so that he can basically keep tabs on him and keep him from doing his Daredevil thing.
Hmm.
And now does it have to be like, oh, Matt is actually Daredevil, but he's switched sides. He's now working with a known mass murderer and is the mastermind behind what Bullseye is doing or something like that.
I think legally they pin him, no pun intended. But they get him up against the ropes, again, no pun intended, legally. And so he
Hmm.
has no other choice but to play the card of outing Matt to show
Yeah.
that Matt is the vigilante and that like it almost discredits him in a way, which I'm guessing is going to backfire. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a good question as to how, like, what's the play? What does he
Yeah.
got? And also, what is his, he seemed to have a bigger picture or a bigger idea of what he wants to do, but what's going to happen with this supposed, like, Mr. Charlie, Mr. Charles, sorry.
Yeah.
And he's got what, Langley?
Yeah.
So what's going on back on that side of it? People are saying it's Val, like we kind of mentioned in the
Yeah.
previous weeks of podcast. Has that been confirmed? I never really figured out.
Val was mentioned, but I'm not sure if it was, I don't think it was specifically around
When
Charlie.
was she mentioned?
She was mentioned, basically, she pulled clout when like the state officials were there.
And they said Val?
Yeah,
Oh,
or DeFontaine, I forget. But either way, yeah, she was mentioned. So that I
okay.
think that was in reference to yeah,
Okay.
with
Um,
Matthew Lillard's character. So uh, it does seem like they're tied together.
yeah. There's something bigger happening that we don't understand yet.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's just set up and it's gonna be addressed
Next
in some of the
season.
yeah, next season or
Yeah.
what, but
Yeah.
um
I I will say, as much as I like Matthew Lillard's character, they need to do something more with that character to increase the intrigue.
yeah, I mean I did like the scene with Mr. Charles and Buck and Fisk. I mean that was there was some tension there that was pretty
Yeah.
good. Like Mr. Charles thought he had the upper hand. Turns
Well, it
out
was
Fisk kind of
yeah. Yeah. But I
and
just need
what's
to
the
know I need to know more of what Mr. Charles is doing.
right? What is the arrangement that they're talking about?
Hmm.
Because that was kind of my question. Like, what is happening with the arrangement? Is so it's obviously like I need you to do this. It's a quid pro quo, right? Happening,
Yeah.
I believe. So, my guess is that will probably it might be a couple episodes before we maybe
Yeah.
truly know on that. But
Yep. Yeah. Now, I do think it'll be interesting in this upcoming episode. I'm assuming that the testimony of the first mate that was video recorded is going to come out since Buck took out the first mate.
hmm
And then I assume also some video stuff of like Jack Duquesne, and we're going to see that more legal side start to come forward of putting pressure on Fisk in a
yeah,
different way.
and I mean honestly, like I think what happens after? I'm pretty sure he killed the boxer that he was boxing at the end. I mean,
Seems
that's
likely.
gotta like he crushed his ribs,
Hmm.
so the punctured lung for sure.
Yes.
Um, I would think there'd be ramifications for that. So is that
Hmm.
going to be like kind of the start of like, whoa, what is happening here? Like, what is he doing? Plus,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Uh,
There's got to be
I will
something that
s-
comes out of that,
mhm. I will say I didn't love the crowd reaction at
I
the
don't
end
get
when they
it.
were cheering.
Right?
Uh,
Who cheers for that?
I know.
It looked like they were
Unless
kind of like shocked though, like, oh, at
they
first,
were,
but
yeah,
then
they were shocked, and then it was just like it was really happy cheering,
right, there was jeers after the
not
shock. I was like, what?
yeah, not like a it would have made sense like, okay, now we're scared of Fisk and what he'll do if we don't applaud his victory. That would have made sense, but these people just genuinely looked happy about it.
Right.
And it wasn't like the AVT folks or like a whole bunch of it was like crusty New York businessmen sorts.
Right. That was confusing for me. I I hope that I would hope that Kingpin's popularity like fizzles a little bit due to
Hmm.
that, but it just the crowd reaction was telling me otherwise, and I was like, well, that
Yeah.
seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless, I mean, it was obviously going to be an extremely pro Fisk crowd.
True.
But in that case, then I think you had to get rid of the other reaction of like them being like, ooh, he's taking it too far.
Wasn't it like a charity event?
Yeah,
So like, what are they really there for? I mean, I don't know. To kill him is like, did he like an extra $1 million get added to the pot? I don't get it.
who knows? Yeah,
So,
that was
I,
just a weird
yeah,
part.
I want that answer.
Yeah. And I don't think like that is one of those things where I'm like, I don't think we're gonna ever get that answer.
I feel like they didn't pay attention to that. Like,
Nope.
and yeah, it's gonna be glossed over. I don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, I feel like I'm talking trash more than anything, but um,
But well, we spent a whole lot of time talking about is Vanessa alive, kind of how that's going to drive the story forward.
yeah.
And that was the huge success of this episode. And along with Bullseye was just phenomenal. I mean, does this is this the point that pushes Heather Glenn over the edge to being the new muse or something like that? Of like, oh, well, I thought that Mayor Fisk was going to clean up everything and keep us all safe, but he can't even keep his own wife safe. I have to figure out a way, like she snaps and it's like I have to take this into my own hands and starts to copy the killer who was after her.
I mean, I can't say I would hate that. But at the same time, she is the one character that baffles me the most. And I wonder if I don't know. That I would say it wouldn't bother me only because it's the
Gives that
only
character's
redemption that she's got. And if they're gonna
yeah.
keep her in, that's the best option they have, I
Hmm.
feel. Otherwise, I say she is not needed in this story.
Hmm.
Not anymore.
Yep.
So, who was interesting for me was Governor McCaffrey,
Hmm.
Lily Taylor.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
like I didn't expect her to kind of be to flip, I guess. I'm trying to see. I swear, I'm gonna go to her page. I think she's in another show that I was watching, but I'm trying to just check that real quick. Oh, she is. Okay, yeah. She's in the Outer Range show, which is
Okay.
awesome. I love that show. Um, so but to see her kind of like shift and be like, well, I can't back Fisk, but I can back you and Fisk, like as
Hmm.
long as you're involved with it. So,
Right. And so if Vanessa isn't involved anymore because she's dead or because she's in a coma and this becomes more extreme or something like that, is there a flip again? Which
I mean, it
just
just shows,
feels weird.
yeah,
But
but it does show how deep the corruption kind of goes. Like she's like,
yeah.
I'm not, I'm okay with it as long as you can kind of keep them under wraps, like, which is oddly complacent to like the corruption. And
Hmm. I
I
mean,
love that,
mhm. I
but
think it's something that's very true of politics.
well, yeah.
As long as it's your side doing the corruption, you don't care.
Right. And that's what I love about that move. But at the same time, I was kind of hoping she'd be the one I was rooting for, because like her
Oh yeah.
character. But I mean, honestly, for storytelling purposes, it's a great call.
I think it's an okay call. I think that because it's also interesting to have, again, this would have been different motivation for Fisk, but now Fisk has to figure out how to strong arm somebody above him on the political food chain to
Mm.
his side. I think that that's also an interesting thing, mainly because that feels like it has more legs to it. Whereas this is now, okay, Vanessa's out of the picture. Does she just immediately backtrack on what was said? And the whole point was to show how important Vanessa is to everything's success.
I wonder if she wants to kind of, if she sees this as an opportunity to take over a little bit. I don't know, like she can't take over like the corruption ring, but she can definitely get her hands dirty in it in a way, because she seemed like she was pretty impressed by what
Hmm.
was happening, right? And she knew about it. And so she seems like she's a very two-faced person. And so she's going to keep that persona of like, hey, everybody loves me. I'm really great. I'm good at and helping the city out, but she's going to get her hands dirty, it feels like. And then I feel like
Yeah.
there's going to be that Kingpin will forever,
Kingpin will get leverage on her.
maybe, or it's like there's a struggle there, like a power struggle, and
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too because like there was the conversation about how like squeaky clean she is and how
Hmm.
they couldn't get dirt on her.
Yeah.
And so,
That's what makes her character so interesting to me. Like, and so I'm looking
mhm,
forward to seeing more from her.
yeah, they just have to pay it off somehow because otherwise it's going to be like, well, that was weird.
Right. It's
Wait,
another character, and
hmm
that's can be dangerous.
yeah. So I think we've covered most things here. Do you have
Uh,
anything else on the list?
One last thing.
All right.
Okay, so have you seen when at the end of the fight when Matt rescues Bullseye and he busts through that window?
The Watcher?
Yeah. Have you seen that? It's hard not
Yes.
to see it once you see it.
Hmm.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying either one way or the other. Who knows if it was planted? Who knows if it was intentional? But man,
It
it
is.
looks really, really oddly like The Watcher.
I mean, well,
Or
so
maybe I want to see it. I don't know.
No, Brad Winderbaum has said basically that he didn't come out and say like, yes, that is 100% the Watcher. He has just said like he's always watching or always watching. Definitely. So in an interview after that, definitely implying the idea that yes,
So wait,
this
th this was an interview of this week? Like he said
yes,
that?
this
Okay.
week.
Okay,
Yep.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So the implication is 3,000% there that yes, that is the Watcher.
Interesting. That's cool.
Hmm.
And kudos to whoever saw it first, because I think a lot of the big hitters, YouTube, like I don't know, Screen Crush or Screen Rant, no, Screen Crush got it. I don't know. I know New Rockstars didn't see it right away. So good job
Yeah.
breaking that story, Petter. Nice work. Just kidding. That was not Petter. I don't know who it was, but
Yeah. So,
all right. We got some. Well, yeah, since we're doing it backwards, we got news
mhm.
next.
We don't really have much in the way of news on the list.
I
Actually,
just
yeah, let's do news next. It's going
what?
to be a mixture of news and rumors
Oh,
here,
okay.
just because I didn't I didn't spend the time to write down my lists in the way that I normally do. But news-wise, Thunderbolts writer Lee Sung-jin is going to be one of the writers for uh, the X-Men movie. Now,
So
he
is that an?
also
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I was going to say he's also the creator of Beef and I think
Is it
Joanna Kahlo also, who's the co-showrunner of The Bear.
okay? I was gonna say I knew there was a writer that did the Bear and Beef. I wasn't sure if this is in addition to the that person that I
No,
already knew was there. Okay, yeah. Which I didn't wa I watched a little bit of Beef. It was good. I think I for whatever reason I just couldn't watch it. Like it just wasn't hitting me at the right time. Like it was sometimes those shows that just are too high anxiety. I feel like it was kind of towards the end of the pandemic that came out. I don't know. Either
I
way, it
think
just
so.
was
Yeah.
it was just too much, right? It just felt too much. I'm like, I can't. So, my wife saw it. I think she really liked it. What I saw of it looked really good. So I think the writing on there, excellent. Same with the bear. I love the bear. So that excites me that we've
Well, and
got them
it's
on board.
yeah, same person as the Thunderbolts. We're big fans of the Thunderbolts,
Yeah,
so
I loved it.
yeah, this is a really nice combo, and like things are coming together nicely. And this, so like writers of the Thunderbolts working with Jake Schreier, the director of the Thunderbolts again. Next news piece, the One Last Kill trailer. What do you think, Greg? We got a new Marvel trailer, possibly just days before we get another new Marvel trailer, or in this case, minutes before we get a new Sony Marvel
Oh,
trailer or first look.
sorry, my son was talking to me too. We talking about the Punisher trailer?
Yeah.
No. Um, I was pretty moved by it, honestly. I I'm a I loved the Netflix Punisher, as I've clearly stated many times on this podcast.
Yes,
Um,
yes, he has.
this
I mean,
I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. I think it seems to be shot well. It feels like it's going to be a really tight story. I know that it's going to have some heartstring moments that are, it's going to yank on those heartstrings. I just can't figure out the transition between that and Born Again, or I mean, Brand New Day. But if it doesn't have the transition, like character, you know how just they seem like kind of two different characters almost in two different mental states. I don't really care because I just think this is going to be a really good presentation that Barenthal and some other friends of his, I think, put together.
hmm I I'm less concerned about the transition between the two characters because I think they're going to Spider-Man it in the way of like I mean, Frank takes a shot at Spider-Man. So he clearly is like, I don't care. Like if you're in my way, I'm to do what I need to do. I think he's just going to like when he's going to swear or when things are going to get too violent, Spider-Man is going to be the character who steps in. But the trailer itself, I thought was very good. I agree with you. It's an emotional thing. The weird thing for me with the trailer is I was really expecting some anti-vigilante task force sort of thing because
Yeah,
that's what the end of season one felt like it was setting up. And there's none of that in there. Also, Bullseye has killed how many members of the AVT? There's not going to be anybody left for Punisher to take out.
good point. And I'm sure Punisher's not wouldn't be happy about that. I think, yeah, that was it's a good point because I have been saying that that is what the presentation was going to be about. And
Yeah.
honestly, it very well still could be. It's a trailer about tone, I think, of what you're about to
Yes.
see. But it honestly, and maybe it's just obviously the way the trailer is put together. It seems like it's very much in a very tight space. So it's in his
hmm
apartment and it's in the streets of his neighborhood, and that is it. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying that's what it appears to be. And so it feels very tight-knit story. And so I'm like, how do you fit the anti-vigilante task force in that? I don't
hmm
know, but
I
I'm gonna be
think it's
disappointed if it doesn't have some essence, a note, or resolve for that. I'm gonna be kind of disappointed.
mhm. It feels like it's going to have what that one the kind of the face like our face of the AVT Powell, is it?
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be kind of the like the last holdout sort of thing. And we're going to find out that like not only is he like using the symbol of the Punisher, like as everything has fallen apart, maybe he's going to adopt some of the try to steal the persona of the Punisher.
Uh, I mean, almost in a spiteful way, and for selfish reasons, I'm sure too. Like,
Yeah, like a
yeah,
delusional way of like, oh no, this can't have fallen apart. I have been doing the right thing the whole time. I
yeah.
like I have nothing left. Everybody's going to turn on me, sort of thing. And yeah.
I think Powell's got some serious delusion of grandeur happening.
hmm
As you're kind of talking, I was thinking it might be something where the reason why it feels so close knit, or it's like such a tight knit story and location wise, he might be surrounded by the
Mm,
anti-vigilante task force, and it might be those that I don't know hour of him prior to them trying to bust in, or like they're closing in on him, and he is kind of at that mental state of like anguish and like kind of does he want to keep going, right? What's the point?
hmm
Is it's like him as the Punisher, like is his identity is being stolen, and so it's like grappling with all that in this
Yeah.
small confined space and also dealing with what's about to come. So
hmm
I could see it being that as well, which
hmm
almost like a one act play for the
Yeah.
three-fourths of it. So
Well, not a one act play, but like
I'm sorry, like
a one
a,
man
a
play.
one man play. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I could definitely, honestly, if Powell is kind of stalking the Punisher and maybe even is lining up the kidnapping that we see
Hmm.
to to pull the Punisher out of hiding or into a more public spot to try and get him in to really take his identity. I do think that makes sense for one last kill. I also think that kind of tagline, but I also think it makes sense for why he'd be in a little bit of a different place in Spider-Man Brand New Day. This whole he's claimed his identity again. I think could be I think
Yeah.
that could work and explain why he's maybe in an equally as violent but slightly happier mood.
Yeah, I think the one last kill title it's really about him. Like
hmm
he's the one last kill himself. So there's suicidal thoughts in there, but I think I think he comes out of it a different person. Like he really has cracks that I don't know, almost psychosis he's had, that PTSD that he's had. I think maybe he kind of comes to like a some sort of what's the word resolve with it. So
Hmm. He
yeah,
finds a peace.
yeah, and I think and that to me that's the way they can transition that if they need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to it actually. I'm almost looking more forward to it than
The rest of,
the rest of
yeah.
Daredevil season. At this point, it could
Yeah.
change.
Hmm. But I mean, it's saying something because we're halfway
Yeah.
halfway in now.
And again,
Uh,
just some
yeah.
refocusing maybe on some
Hmm.
characters.
Yeah. So a Doomsday rumor here is the opening Avengers Doomsday will show variants of the X-Men fighting against a variant of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, where both worlds are destroyed, kind of showing off the end of the multiverse. Clearly, New Jersey gets destroyed multiple times, like probably beforehand, and then they bring it back somehow and it gets destroyed again.
I mean, it's the right call. You don't just destroy it.
Hmm.
Uh, so the X-Men and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So it's a one
Yeah.
versus many is what the rumor
Well,
is.
I would think that that probably implies worlds. So
Oh,
maybe
okay.
you have, I don't know, Doc Ock or other characters on Spider-Man's side.
Yeah,
But
like you have the Sandman.
mhm.
I mean,
Well, and
I'm
it
just
does say a variant too. So I don't think, I really don't think that they would do a situation where they're like, oh yeah, here's Tobey Maguire, but it's not the Tobey Maguire you know. That just seems like a really bad plan. But that's definitely what the how the rumor is kind of worded.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like a evil or like sinister or any less good Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I mean, but it'd be kind of cool if they had some other characters in there too.
Yeah,
Like if they brought in
Miles.
Spider-Gwen, Miles,
Miles is
finally
the only one who escapes the universe.
Firestar, please. Iceman.
Shathra.
Shit. Actually, Iceman would be on the other side.
Hmm.
So, do you have that in your rumors? The
That
X-Men,
Iceman's going to be in there.
they're going with the supposedly the original.
Yes, yes, I do. And in fact, that is, well, there was one other rumor in between there, but I'll roll back to that one. But that it's going to be the OG X-Men characters. So Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, Angel, and then I'm going to correct what it says here on this. It says Jean Grey on this. Should say Marvel Girl.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think that they would introduce, especially a character like Jean Grey, who's so incredibly powerful, and we're going to get introduced to in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Oh, yes, it is. I think that they'll want to brand her or label her as a Marvel Girl or something different, so it feels different than it's Jean Grey again.
man, another Marvel person like Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, Marvel Girl. I don't know. It's risky, but I would agree that you would want to go with the OG if you're going to go as far as getting Angel, Iceman. Hell yeah! By the way, that was my character that I wanted. I think I said that a while back. So,
Yes. Yeah, no, I do like it too that it's not there is no Wolverine in this. I was watching
hmm,
actually a video of Screen Crush where they were like, whatever you do, especially if you're keeping Hugh Jackman around for Wolverine or like a version of Wolverine for a little while, don't bring him into the X-Men stuff. Keep Wolverine away because Wolverine dominated the Fox X-Men stuff.
yeah, I
And
agree. I agree.
especially, I mean, if they do bring in Henry Cavill, let's say, he would dominate if he was part of the X-Men team.
I don't I don't care. That's not what I'm in for the X-Men for. I'm not in
Hmm.
for Wolverine. I'm in for like the mutant struggle.
Hmm.
That's what I want. So,
Yes.
yeah, I agree. Like they said, if they do another Deadpool Wolverine, keep him over there. Not a bad idea.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't need that personally, but yeah, I don't need to have him in there. right off the bat. I don't need him to suck the space.
Hmm. Yeah. And so then the other rumor around the X-Men is that Sydney Sweeney being eyed for the role of Emma Frost.
I mean,
This My Time to Shine Hello with this one. I think from the perspective of how a lot of people see Emma Frost, of like, oh yeah, she's kind of this sex appeal, sex symbol sort of thing. Sydney Sweeney makes sense.
but I think she was in season one of White Lotus, right? Sydney Sweeney was, because
I
if
have
it's
no idea.
that's the kind of like the character that I'm thinking, the character that she plays,
Yes, she's
uh,
in White Lotus.
season one.
I have no idea. She's just in White Lotus.
Uh,
I have no idea how many even seasons there are of White Lotus.
okay, she is. Yeah, she's one of the young girls that are with her parents on this vacation thing. Anyways, just the way I'm seeing Emma Frost played, and like kind of that seductive, confident yet selfish. I guess are they going to go
Oh,
with like
yeah.
that side? Then yes, I
Emma
will.
Frost in the comics is this character who wields her femininity and sexuality as a weapon for complete control.
Yeah,
And I think Sydney Sweeney could pull that off.
I agree. Yeah, great in Hellfire Club.
Hmm. Um, so the reason we were doing this backwards was that we were hoping that there would be anything from CinemaCon. So CinemaCon's Sony panel is today. It is going on currently, but of course, right now they're talking Resident Evil, and there's other stuff that they're going to be talking about too. Let me find that their list. Insidious 6, Jumanji 4. The Inschneider says potentially a new last, I think, Tarantino film.
Uh,
Because Tarantino has said that he's only going to do a certain number of films. So,
um,
unfortunately, that means Spider-Man is going to be at the end. Like Brand New Day, across or the Spider-Verse film, all of that is going to come after we're done podcasting here.
I also heard Tarantino's going to do the next Doctor Strange movie. I'm just kidding.
Now,
I didn't hear that. I just made that up.
I was going to say though, if Tarantino did the next Doctor Strange movie, that would not count towards his films because it's like original films.
Is it in-world kind of stuff? Is that what he's
No,
doing? Oh,
no, it's not
oh,
in
original
world.
films. I get it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like his ideas sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Lots of foot
but
fetish stuff.
yeah, they definitely wouldn't be talking about that on the Sony panel. There will be a Marvel panel. I believe the Marvel panel is it in 2 days or 3 days? I forget when, 15th or 16th. So that might be our first chance to get some footage of Doomsday.
Oh man, can't happen soon enough.
Hmm.
I'm just scrolling through what they've come out with so far. Paddington 4, nice. Escape from New York.
I
Yeah,
mean,
two.
I'm kind of on Paddington 4. After Paddington 3 Tokyo Drift, it really couldn't go any higher for me.
Really topped out there, huh? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. We were hoping to plan this and time this out, right? We even started later for it, but I think unless something comes out in the next couple minutes, we're just gonna have to talk about it next week,
Right.
unfortunately.
20 seconds ago, discussing film.
Oh,
The
jeez.
team behind Beyond the Spider-Verse are backstage at CinemaCon. They're not on stage, they're backstage. So we will be getting to all the CinemaCon stuff next week. There just isn't, we're not going to stretch this out, find other random rumors, make Greg explain in detail who Shathra is,
I
though he
mean,
probably could.
that's a two-part podcast. I got lots of information.
Yeah, so we'll wrap up here. Again, just thank you all for checking out the podcast. We hope that you're enjoying it and enjoying our stupid shenanigans, and sticking with us for our weird format for today. We really do appreciate everybody who's checking out the podcast. Greg gave a few ways to help support us at the start and end of the podcast. But with that, we'll see you next time.
A New York state of mind. Bye.